They served their country, came home from war, deported. That is a reality for many U.S. veterans. As Channel 5's Leslie Aguilar reports, they're left with no VA or any other benefits and no legal means to even visit the country they fought to protect.
The tiny Mexican town of Nuevo Progreso, Tamaulipas is vibrant and busy. Most merchants here get their business from American shoppers. It would be easy to assume the business boom from the U.S. is why this shop owner proudly displays the U.S. flag in his cell phone store.
I love the United States tremendously. I would go to war for it again if necessary because my children are there and my grandchildren are there.
68-year-old Jose Maria Martinez is a Vietnam veteran. He's got the paperwork and the ribbons to prove it.
Any ribbon that you see with a V on it, that means it was worn for valor and combat. I got caught there by the...
Martinez grew up in Brownsville. His parents brought him to the U.S. with a green card when he was 7. As soon as he was old enough, he enlisted in the Marines and went to war.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Martinez was told serving in the military would earn him U.S. citizenship. He was honorably discharged in 1972.
And my DD 214 stated, born in Mexico, discharged as a U.S. citizen. So I was under the impression that I was a U.S. citizen all the time. Hell, I was a registered Republican.
In 1997, he got in trouble with the law. Martinez was caught smuggling bundles of marijuana through the Cerita checkpoint. He went to prison.
I did my 5 years. I paid my debt to society as far as I'm concerned.
He learned he was not a U.S. citizen after he'd served his time. Martinez never filed to become a citizen and says he was never told he had to. So his second punishment for the smuggling charge was deportation.
Took away my VA rights, third punishment. Then when I turned of age, 62 for my Social Security, because I put 30 years into Social Security, they declined. They approved it, but could not give it to me because I was deported. So I've been punished 4 times for the same crime.
Martinez says he regrets breaking the law.
I'm here because I screwed up.
He'd like a second chance from the country he loves, and he's not the only one.
We've deported hundreds of them, maybe thousands of them.
Congressman Vicente Gonzalez says he's made contact with U.S. veterans in 36 countries around the world, most with stories similar to Martinez.
When you're 18 years old and you're sitting out in the desert in war, the last thing you're thinking about is filling out immigration documentation.
Gonzalez is pushing a bill that would stop the deportation of veterans and bring home many of the ones already deported. The Repatriate Our Patriots Act has a Republican co-sponsor. Gonzalez says President Donald Trump is on board.
He agreed immediately that that was wrong and that we needed to do something about it.
People deported for crimes like murder, rape, child sexual assaults, or terrorism would not qualify for repatriation. Gonzalez says the vast majority would qualify. The crimes most veterans get deported for are related to drugs and alcohol.
They come home with high levels of PTSD. As you know, we've lost thousands of veterans to suicide in the recent years, and they begin self-medicating. They start using drugs or alcohol and find themselves in a substance abuse problem and end up in some trouble.
What's going on, bro? How you doing, my friend? I'm doing good.
Martinez yearns to be back in Texas, but he's built a comfortable life in Mexico.
Mi casa es tu casa.
His apartment is less than a mile from the border with the country he loves. Inside, he keeps more reminders of his allegiance to the United States. He hopes one to the U.S. and take the grandchildren he's never met to see the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C.
I've got from a colonel to a lieutenant general, to a private, to corporals and sergeants in there. My brothers.
Martinez isn't holding his breath, waiting for a second chance. Do you think that you deserve to have your U.S. citizenship?
Oh, yeah. I do. I thought I was. I really did. I really thought I was.
Instead, he'll continue living his life and running his business in Mexico, just steps away from the U.S. border. In Nuevo Progreso, Leslie Aguilar, Channel 5 News at 6.